In 2016, workers in South Korea discovered a horrifying secret buried beneath a factory restroom. A human skeleton sealed inside a square cement tank, hidden for nearly a decade. The identity of the victim remains unknown, and the case is shrouded in silence, suspicion, and spiritual fear. Why was she buried in cement? Who killed her, and why did so many people pretend to know nothing? Was the factory owner hiding more than just concrete? On the morning of April 23rd, 2016, in the Chongcheon Industrial Park area of Phum Nongkuk, in the city of In, there was an old building that had been abandoned for years. Workers were assigned to go in and demolish an old-style public restroom beneath that building. This building had once been an old factory that had long been left unused, but was only recently sold to a new owner earlier that year. The new owner planned to construct a new factory on the land. However, the smell from a nearby sewage pit behind the factory was so bad that it had been converted into a modern restroom built above the pit. A staircase led up to the building, and right under those stairs, near the restroom, was a square concrete basin. Due to the conditions there, the site had some unique features that needed careful handling. The workers had to break the concrete manually because they couldn't use a jackhammer. When they used tools to chip away at the basin, a strange slime oozed out first. Initially, they thought it was just the decomposing remains of an animal, maybe a cat or dog, and didn't pay much attention. But when they looked more closely, they realized it was more complicated. The shape looked more human than animal. They checked the area again and discovered that there wasn't just one skull, but many bones. Horrified, they immediately called the police. Not long after, the police arrived on the scene. In the Panek Kosal Viche area, the investigation confirmed that the bones found inside the concrete were human remains. For an ordinary person, when someone dies, the family holds a funeral, offers prayers, or performs religious rites. They wouldn't simply dump the body in a dirty concrete drain like this. So, even without a police statement, it was clear this was a murder case where the body had been hidden deliberately. After careful examination, the police found a nearly complete human skeleton, including a right leg with a visible bullet hole in the front side that had fractured the bone. Forensic experts determined the victim was around 20 years old and stood between 1.62 and 1.70 meters tall. However, due to the long decomposition time, they couldn't identify the exact cause of death. The police prioritized identifying the victim and determining the precise time of death. They tried to collect fingerprints from the bones. The fingerprints retrieved from the concrete tank were entered into the state database, but there was no match. This led police to believe the victim might not be Korean. She could have been a factory worker or someone from a marginalized background, perhaps someone from the red light district or without proper documentation. The forensic team also extracted DNA from the bones for testing. However, once again, there was no match in the national DNA database. The DNA identified the victim as Mongoloid, but no specific identity could be determined. So, could the police rely on external evidence? At the crime scene, no belongings or clear identifiers were found. The body was discovered without clothing, which suggests that the perpetrator had purposely stripped the victim before sealing her in concrete. This might have been done to remove any evidence. However, remnants of the victim's clothing were still stuck to parts of the body. This led police to believe that she had been dressed at the time of death, and her clothes were forcibly removed later. That small detail could indicate familiarity between the victim and the killer. Additionally, within the concrete tank, the police found a cigarette package and a basement key. These items were possibly dropped accidentally during the mixing and pouring of the cement. Pouring cement is a large task, and it's likely the killer first placed the body, arranged everything, and then poured the concrete over it. Evidence suggests the concrete was poured in the dark, possibly at night or in low-light conditions, leading to impurities being mixed in. On the concrete slab, the manufacturing date was printed as September 27, 2006. The cigarette pack design was one updated in 2008. This helped investigators estimate that the crime occurred between 2006 and 2008. Police quickly checked missing person reports from that period, but found no cases that matched the victim. Authorities speculated the victim may have been a prostitute working in an illegal nightclub. The crime happened in a 4-story factory building with a basement, an emergency staircase, and an elevator. Under that staircase was the concrete tank where the body had been concealed. The building was constructed in 1990 and had served as a factory since December 5th. It was abandoned and changed ownership several times. The first owner had control of the machinery from August 23, 1990, and the most recent owner took over from August 27th. In August 2000, the third owners, 2 men, 1 Vietnamese and 1 Korean, bought the building for factory use. From December 2003 until 2015, it remained active. Police speculated the victim may have been a factory worker or a foreign woman employed there. During the investigation, when the coffin-like cement structure was broken, they found her face bruised and her back marked, signs that the killer couldn't face the victim directly, a psychological behavior often seen in crimes involving someone close to the victim. This raised suspicions that a coworker, possibly a powerful one, was the killer. A normal worker wouldn't have the authority or opportunity to build a hidden tank in the factory. The killer likely had control over construction activities. Despite years of investigation, police couldn't find strong evidence. Surveillance footage was long gone, so they had to rely on witness interviews. They questioned over 500 factory workers, but found nothing significant. Mr. and Mrs. Lee had purchased the factory, but neither was involved in its daily operations. When police interviewed Mr. C, they hit a wall. He claimed he had no idea about the concrete tank or the body inside. Mr. C presented photos from November 24, 2013, taken by the factory janitor who had noticed something strange. Mr. C claimed the janitor took the photos and sent them to him, which is how he learned about the concrete tank. But even by 2013, 7 years after the estimated time of the murder, Mr. C said he never knew about the tank. Police questioned the janitor mentioned by Mr. C. On December 18th, 2013, he warned the sanitation team not to touch anything beyond toilet cleaning. That statement raised more suspicion.
Additionally, factories named Rosen and Tricoli refused to cooperate with the investigation. The victim had no family, so there was no one to push the case forward. The media picked up the story, and Korean social media exploded with outrage over the police's lack of progress. Public opinion split. Some believed Mr. C was the mastermind, while others thought he was protecting the real killer. Because the killer feared being caught dumping the body elsewhere, they used factory authority to build the tank and bury the victim under the stairs. Mr. C may not have been the killer, but his strange behavior suggested he knew the truth. Years later, Mr. C still claimed to know nothing. Police investigations hit dead ends, and online communities were left without answers. In June 2016, the police exhumed the body from the tank, seemingly closing the case. But the public was furious. Many believed the police had abandoned the case with no justice served. Later in 2016, a TV program began investigating the case again. The production team noted irregularities and reopened the case, focusing on the woman's murder and the water tank beneath the factory dorm. Mr. Sin and Mr. Lee refused to be interviewed. Their wives also declined. During one visit, the program staff found Mr. C's front door tightly closed, a traditional sign to ward off ghosts. Did Mr. C truly believe he was being haunted? Inside the home, Mr. C behaved strangely, and his wife grew agitated when asked about the victim's bones. Mr. C repeated the same answers he gave police, with no new revelations. The team went back to interview local residents. They confirmed that the murder likely occurred around 2006. In 2016, after the police exhumed the remains, the factory held 5 ghost rituals, not ordinary ones, but full-blown ceremonies with pig blood, pig heads, and even pig dissections. These were not cheap events. If there was no ghost, no death, why spend so much? People in the industrial park described the factory as haunted. Workers often felt sick or cursed, which led to more and more rituals. Could it be that Mr. C, terrified of ghosts and guilt, kept holding these expensive rituals to protect himself? Then another strange thing happened. During the full moon festival in the following year, a foreign factory worker disappeared. The incident created online buzz, but the real reason for the disappearance remains unknown. To this day, the victim buried in the cement tank has not been identified. If this shocking case moved you, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with others, and subscribe to The X Story by P for more haunting, emotional stories like this one.